Hello and welcome to TechKnow Tuesday, the weekly podcast about the first tech challenge bitcoins and other things related to science, engineering, and technology. My name is Kendrick Benner. I am here along with
AJ Sfopoulos.
Scott Brenneman.
Crypto Phil.
Crypto Phil.
Today we're going to be talking about bitcoins.
Cryptocurrency.
Global internet currency.
And mining.
Cryptocurrency. Who's heard of it? Anyone?
No one.
Never even heard of it? Scott?
Wait, heard of what? Bitcoin?
You haven't? Bitcoin?
Crypto.
I've heard of Bitcoin.
Or cryptocurrency.
I've heard of Bitcoin.
I heard people are dumping their Bitcoin.
I don't think Bitcoin's a good idea.
I have no idea what it is. So I
Okay,
have no
so
opinion.
It's digital currency.
If you don't know what...
So is my credit card.
If you don't know what Bitcoin is, it is a currency that was basically invented by a couple of guys on the interwebs. And a bunch of people have decided that these Bitcoins are actually worth something. So it kind of took off, and now it's its whole own currency.
I still have no idea why they got that.
And how do you create them? It's like,
Well, they... I forget the name of the algorithm, but the guys who designed it, they set up that 42 billion, I think, around there. 42 billion Bitcoins exist inside a sort of deep mathematical algorithm. And so you can get them by either purchasing them from other people, like normal currency, I guess, like gold, or you can mine the currency
that's what I don't understand.
by sending your computer through this huge mathematical calculation to try and find where these Bitcoins are hidden. And it's sort of all done.
Sounds like computers playing video games to me. But
yeah, it's very it's confusing, and I don't actually fully understand it myself.
And I feel like
It's
if
a pyramid
anyone,
scheme.
well, if anyone
Interesting.
figures out that algorithm, they own the world. If we ended up
Oh, well,
going,
it's
Well,
been
the guys who
figured out
created the
multiple
algorithm
times.
know the algorithm. So
It's
Yeah,
already
that's-
been figured out multiple times, though.
see, they're trying to make it be the international currency.
okay, but what can you do with it though? What can you do with Bitcoins once you have it?
You can there's because it's
You
not
can sell them to
so
other people
widely.
who want them,
Yes,
right?
but why?
It's not so
Like,
widely accepted right now, but there are places that accept Bitcoin as payment.
Okay, so
Websites
it's, okay,
and
it's a little
stuff like
weird.
that.
It's a little weird, but if you think about it, it's not really any different than regular money.
It is.
Because,
Yeah.
well, okay,
It isn't.
because I mean, typically, for example, before the concept of printed money, you would use something that was scarce that had perceived value because it was scarce. Like rocks or conch shells or pieces of gold. They don't have any intrinsic value really. It's only because they're rare. So if this Bitcoin thing is rare in some way, then I guess it becomes a viable bartering material.
Yeah, but the only reason our currency now is worth money and why it's dying is gold. And we went off the gold standard, and that's why it's dropping its
Okay,
value.
but forget.
so quickly. So there's nothing.
Think,
Well, the biggest thing is.
currency though.
Well, I'm thinking, what's backing this Bitcoin? Like, the stock market crashes, would it affect it, or is it?
But the
It
only
shouldn't,
thing
the thing
that
is-
unless it becomes traded on the stock market, which it probably never will.
the only thing that makes gold worth anything is because you want it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Because the
people want
other
it.
person
It's
wants
because
it.
we decided that it's worth
Because
something.
it's rare.
Because it's rare. But the difference is, gold you can hold in your hand. You can't hold a Bitcoin in your hand.
Technically
Okay,
speaking, you
okay,
can.
but I mean,
but
your credit card is the same way, though. I mean, the money that credit card represents, you can't hold in your hand either. I mean, yes, it's out there, it's worth, it's tagged, it's tracked, it's whatever, but it's not actually. Paper money is the same thing. I mean,
the main difference between these things is that, theoretically, Bitcoin you can't make more of, so it's unlike paper money in that sort of way. And the biggest difference between Bitcoin and standard currency is that standard currency is government regulated. You think of the dollar,
Right.
the euro, whereas Bitcoin is unregulated. There's no regulation behind it. It's actually exactly like gold, but
It would be no different than
digital.
if all of a sudden everyone decided that left earlobes had value. So people started collecting them. Hey, that's my left earlobe. There's only so many of them.
you think about it, that's true.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, why do all the things we consider valuable? Why are they valuable? Because they're controlled. They're limited. They're a scarce resource. People trade water. People trade.
Bit of a
It's
story.
interesting. So it's a computer version of a resource. So they had to invent a way to make it scarce, and that's this algorithm. I guess you're talking about.
And there's
Yeah,
only
but if someone's cracked it, then it's no longer scarce.
Well, then it no longer has any value. Just like if someone came up with four cubic miles of gold,
And that's-
gold value would be nothing.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly. So the point is, it's already been done, whereas people don't find mass amounts of
Well,
gold.
it hasn't already been done.
The Bitcoin used to be very easy to find. You know, there were people that would mine thousands a day.
Right.
But as it goes on, the difficulty level
unique?
goes
Are they
higher.
unique
Yeah.
in some way?
So you can. There's only like 42 billion, I think it is, that are ever going to be generated. There's only a certain number generated each month, I think it is, and so
It's really interesting.
and so there's this limit there. And since so many people have gotten into Bitcoin, since so many people have mined it out, it's now become next to impossible to find any just on your own. So now there's these networks of people joining their computers together, all to just find a handful of Bitcoins. I think Bitcoin is worth 800 US. A single Bitcoin is worth $800 US right now, but it used to be worth, you know, just a fraction of a cent. And on the topic of that sort of little story, there was the first real world purchase with Bitcoin was a large cheese pizza.
How many
The guy
Bitcoins?
paid for it using 10,000 Bitcoins, which is now worth 1.2 million some dollars, at least at the time of that article was written.
Pretty
So
funny.
That sounds like if they would like incorporate that into like a game or something like that.
you can already
Right.
buy lots of games with Bitcoins. There's lots of websites that accept donations through Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And there's dude, I forget. I lost my train of thought. I was going somewhere.
You had me going. Cheese pizza? Was that what threw you off?
Cheese pizza, worth like there's also people that, you know, they back when Bitcoin wasn't worth anything, you know, they mined a bunch of them and then they thought, it's not worth anything, so they'd throw their computers out. Bitcoins are normally stored on either the cloud or your hard drive. So these computers that got thrown out with thousands of Bitcoins on them are now extremely valuable because the price of Bitcoin has risen dramatically, and
Interesting.
it's pretty
It's
crazy.
interesting. It's interesting.
There's a bunch of other
I
cryptocurrencies.
mean, there's people out there that don't
popping
believe
up
in
too,
cash
but-
money for the same reason. You know, the only value thing is gold and silver, as far as they're concerned.
Well, that's what it was originally. But
I
feel like anything digital is a bad idea. It's too easy to like. Some of the people that hack cars, why can't you just figure out this algorithm with a computer? Computers can do ridiculous stuff. Why wouldn't you just be able to figure out this algorithm? Just
Well, the
leave it for
problem
a
is-
week and it would figure it
But
out.
that's a
problem is-
layman person. We don't know what we're laymen talking about a topic we really don't fully understand. So
And the
who
problem
knows?
is, since it's done over the internet, there's only a certain number of Bitcoins hidden in this algorithm, deep inside this algorithm, every week or month or so. So even if you figure out the algorithm, you
So
may not find a
it's
Bitcoin
time-based.
pair. So then next time,
Where do you go to mine them?
well, you could mine them on your own using your computer, but
But where?
now
I
there's
mean,
these like
is it just a string of code that you get from it?
yeah.
Okay.
And there's sort of like this synchronizer that you get to synchronize with the whole Bitcoin network to figure out which ones have been found, which ones haven't, and to get the new algorithms and stuff. With Bitcoin, there is this like a USB flash drive you can plug in to your computer. It costs about $50 or so, and that's where the people who have figured out the algorithm have put on code that's specifically designed to go through the algorithm really efficiently to try and find lots of Bitcoins really fast. That used to work, but of course, because everybody's using that now, everybody's finding them, spread out really quickly, and so it's still really slow overall.
It's very interesting sounding. I'm not sure that I have anything to do with it, but it's very interesting sounding.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my money away from that.
I actually got into mining there's a bunch of other cryptocurrencies called, like Litecoin, Feathercoin, Dogecoin, which is the one I'm in.
They like their coins.
But yeah, I've started mining those. I've got about 10,000
Is there a
of those
flappy
on my
coin?
hard drive. I don't know, but in all reality,
So-
you can pretty much anyone can make up their own, cryptocurrency.
So-
It's just the thing of whether anybody actually decides it's
Which is
worth
all
anything or not.
collectibles are all about. It's just another
Yeah.
collectible.
Now, the question is, how much did you make out of doing several thousand of your?
I have 10,000 Dogecoins, which is worth, I think, 1.50 right now.
A piece
Each
or overall?
Total. But at one
You're
time,
going
that's
to
what
invest
Bitcoin
that
would be.
and come back in 50 years and it's going to be worth like 3 cents. It's
Well, yeah, I'm
gonna be
just
great.
gonna
Oh.
hold them. I'm just gonna hold them on my hard drive. I mean, Bitcoin was like a huge.
It's like a
Rocket
It was very
It's like
sudden.
a collectible.
Bitcoin we heard about like 5 years ago, but then it just died, and then recently it came back.
It's just like a collectible. It's like Barbie dolls and chia pets.
Exactly. Once you get older, you outgrow them.
Believe it or not, it's a lot like gold.
Dun dun
How
dun.
long have we
We've
been?
got. let me
I
think.
think we should make a whole episode about
20.
Bitcoin.
Oh, we got. That's pretty much what we did.
Excellent.
How long do we have?
That's it. We're at 18 minutes right now. Our last recording stopped at 20.
All right, so let's stop that.
Almost
That's
done.
good.
All right.
I mean, I think it should be like a special. I found that very enlightening myself, and so I think we should maybe choose special topics like this. You know, I like a special topic. I like
Put
I
that
like-
one out in the middle of the week, random. Like
You may
a
want to go
Thursday.
like research this yourselves so you can get all the facts, completely straight.
No, I'm fine with what you
But-
told me.
From what I was able to gather, that's how everything works. So
I'm skeptical about if it's really gonna.
Well, it doesn't matter whether
Like,
you're skeptical. People are
it's-
buying it, people are selling it, they're happy.
Exactly.
Put
They're
it
buying
this
and
way.
selling, but what's the point?
it's
the point of
gotten.
any-
What's the point of money?
Yeah, what's
The point of money is you can actually buy stuff.
Well,
You
apparently
can
you
buy
can buy
stuff
stuff
with
with
it.
this.
Yeah, you can
It's
buy
the
stuff
same
with
thing.
Bitcoin. The
It's
guy bought a
conversion.
pizza
I mean, just because maybe you can't buy
for
guns with it.
$1.2 million.
You just can't buy much of like.
Who knows?
Actually, if I remember correctly, Google accepts donations for Bitcoin.
Yeah, but a donation's not quite the same as
Why does
payment.
Google want donations? They already own the world.
That's right.
There was something with Bitcoin I saw on their website.
I mean, if you're looking for someone with mega computing power, I think a Google data repository with nothing to do in its spare time could probably do a lot of data mining. You know, each
Yeah.
one of those servers,
This is all
storage
Google.
servers,
This
You
is
know,
all Google.
doing a little thing in the background. They do.
Now
Oh,
there's-
look, a Bitcoin. Oh, like a million of them.
It does hog down your computer quite a bit to mine because that's the whole point of it. It's trying to figure this whole thing out. So it ramps up the CPU. You can use your GPU more efficiently, and
So,
So-
do you need a fast computer to be able to keep up with it?
no, you can use any computer
Depends
you
how
want.
much you want to, how fast you want to collect.
But yeah, the better it is, the faster you'll mine bitcoins. But
Interesting concept.
the problem then becomes efficiency. Because you're taking in power to run your computer flat
Is it
out.
costing you more
that's
than it
mining
is?
this.
No,
yeah.
that's why you go to the local library or college.
Unfortunately, since bitcoins are, well, no, I guess you could have your computer at home running the wallet program. Never mind. All right, that's all the time we have for today. So, on behalf of all of us here at TechKnow Tuesday headquarters, thank you all for watching or listening. Goodbye.
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 And remember that Taco Cat
Ciao.
spelled backwards is still Taco Cat.